TIFU by trying to impress my crush with a homemade fireworks show. So there I was, a young, naive 20-year-old college student who had been nursing a massive crush on my classmate, Sarah, for months. I had finally worked up the courage to ask her out, and she had agreed to come over to my place for a movie night. Now, I wanted to make a good impression on Sarah, so I decided to go all out and plan a little surprise for her. I had always been a bit of a pyromaniac, so I thought, why not put on a small fireworks show in my backyard? I had a few leftover fireworks from the 4th of July, so I figured it wouldn't be too hard to set something up. I spent the entire day meticulously planning out my little display. I carefully set up all the different types of fireworks in order of size and intensity, making sure to leave plenty of space between each one. I even took the time to set up a few sparklers and Roman candles to add some extra flair. As the sun began to set, I eagerly awaited Sarah's arrival. When she finally showed up, I could barely contain my excitement as I led her out to the backyard. I could tell she was impressed by the setup, and I felt a surge of confidence as I lit the first firework. The first few fireworks went off without a hitch, and Sarah oohed and awed at each one. I was feeling pretty proud of myself, thinking that this might just be the best date ever. But then, disaster struck. As I went to light the next firework, I fumbled with the lighter and accidentally dropped it into the box of fireworks. Before I could react, the entire box erupted in a massive explosion, sending sparks and flames flying in every direction. I watched in horror as the fireworks shot off randomly in all directions, some even heading straight for the house. Sarah screamed and ducked for cover as I frantically tried to extinguish the flames. But it was no use. The damage was done. By the time the chaos had subsided, my backyard was a smoldering mess of burnt grass and singed trees. The back of the house had sustained significant damage, and I could only imagine the scolding I would receive from my landlord. To make matters worse, the noise from the explosion had drawn the attention of my neighbors, who had promptly called the police. As I stood there, covered in soot and ash, I could hear the sirens approaching in the distance. Sarah was understandably furious, and I could see the disappointment in her eyes as she realized what a colossal idiot I was. I tried to apologize and explain myself, but she was already storming off, leaving me alone to face the impending legal repercussions. When the police arrived, I had to explain the whole embarrassing ordeal to them. And of course, they didn't buy my story about it being a harmless fireworks show. I was slapped with a hefty fine for reckless endangerment and faced the possibility of being evicted from my apartment. As I sat alone in my charred backyard, nursing my bruised ego and contemplating the mess I had created, I couldn't help but curse my own stupidity. All I had wanted to do was impress Sarah, but instead, I had ended up nearly burning down my house and scaring her off for good. So, dear Redditors, let my colossal failure be a cautionary tale to you all. Sometimes, trying to impress someone with a grand gesture can blow up in your face. Quite literally. And for the love of all that is holy, please leave the fireworks to the professionals. TLDR, tried to impress my crush with a homemade fireworks show. Ended up setting my backyard on fire and getting fined by the police. Love is a battlefield, my friends.